Hello, I'm Tina and welcome to Lakeshore Academy. Today I am going to be talking to you about online homeschooling, public or private. Now I'm going to explain what I mean by public or private. Now there are a lot of different types of homeschoolers. Everyone is not the traditional type of homeschooler where you have lesson plans and you teach the kids everything without anyone helping you. There are all these new type of homeschooling that are out, which is still up to the parents to decide whether or not they want to do that or not. Now, the public homeschool, the public homeschool is a type of public, it's a type of homeschooling in which your child is still in the public school system or your particular school district, but they're receiving all of their education still from the public school system at home. So, with that being said, if your child is in public homeschooling at home, like K-12 or Connections Academy, your child will actually be sent all their books and all their resources to you. And in some cases, depending on your income, you will also receive a computer as well. But the only difference between traditional and public is that you still have to follow their schedule. You use their teachers. Someone is actually teaching your child remotely from a computer. Sometimes you can see them, sometimes you can't. And sometimes your children are also in a class with other children as well that they can see. It's like virtual. It just depends on what type of public homeschool you have. And that's okay if you decide to do that, because you're still homeschooling, but you're doing it at home. But it gives you less, I won't say wiggle room, but it gives you're more restricted in the fact that you have to complete everything that they say according to their timetable, according to their time frame. You have to have everything done. So you're mostly there as a guide, not or a coach, more or less than a teacher, because they already have their own teachers in the public school system that's just teaching your child from home, remotely at home. Now, the reason why I refer to homeschool as private is because this is a type of homeschool in which you pick the curriculum. You are the teacher. You decide whether or not your child is outsourced into different other homeschool activities or even different activities within the public school system. You decide what you want to do, what you don't want to do, as long as you do everything that's relative to your particular state. As long as you're hitting everything that makes you legal for your particular state, but you have control over pretty much how the flow of your school. You work on your own timetable, so to speak. You still have to get the same things done, but the time crunch is not as stringent as it is when you're with public homeschool. You have to hit those deadlines when they tell you to. Whereas with when you do it yourself, you have a little bit more wiggle room. You have to get everything done within that school year, not so much so as a particular date time frame. You know, it's not as stressful in my opinion. But some people, they use public homeschool and they absolutely love it. And then some people don't. They say the workload is just too much. But then some people, they absolutely love it. So it just depends on what type of homeschool you want to do. If you want your child home, you want to homeschool them, but you don't want any of the teaching aspect, then public homeschool probably would be good for you. But in my case, I utilize, even though I'm a traditional homeschooler, I take a little bit from here, a little bit from there, a little bit here, but I like to control what I use. So there are many different homeschools that's not tied with the public school system that you can use for free or for a small price, a small monthly fee, that has the complete curriculum, and the only thing your child has to do is go log on and do the work, and you still the coach or the giving the guidance that the child needs, but you're the teacher still, but they're going to this program to help them with that. And I do use that sometime for, like right now I'm super duper busy, have different things that I have to do. So in order for me to make sure my children is getting everything that they need when I physically cannot be there every minute of the day, I utilize different online homeschool resources that's electronic. And that's perfectly fine, perfectly cool. And then I have certain things that I do with them one-on-one, and different things that we do to collectively together as a family. Because what I am really trying to do is build independence. So that's why I outsource with different online resources so that they can learn how to be independent, how to be responsible, how to be self-sufficient if I'm not there, which I am there, but not there guarding over them, so to speak, or supervising over them. I just come in at the end when I use that type of homeschooling. I come in at the end and make sure I check and see what they have done, what they haven't done, what they need help with versus what they don't need help with. And sometimes I even go up a grade based on whether or not how well they're doing with that particular program. It also helps me to know where there are relatively with the standards. How are they adding up to their grade level? Having an electronic program, it really helps you to see that, because it can actually graph the things that I use. It actually show you a graph of what they're good in, what they're lacking in, what they need extra help in. So sometimes if you need something to help you pinpoint some of your child's weaknesses and their strengths, then an electronic program would be very good to help you utilize that. Of course, you can always do it the traditional way, which I do both. Like I said, I go back and forth with different stuff, depending on the family situation at the moment. But always making sure that my children get the very best education that they can get or they can have, and making sure that they're learning, making sure they're having fun, and making sure that they're hitting everything that they need to hit in order to be productive when they grow up. So with that being said, it's basically up to you as the parent to decide whether or not you want to do public homeschool or you want to do private, meaning you pick everything, you do everything yourself. But either way, it is perfectly okay. I know there are a lot of people debate on this, but it's really not that serious. It'll be all right. And all right, we just doing this because we love our children and we want the best for them. So just keep that in mind and keep your focal points on that, and you'll be all right. So again, this is Tina from Lakeshore Academy talking to you about homeschooling, public homeschool versus private. Have a great day. Bye.